good news. I'm feeling a little bit better. Not all the way back, but I'm feeling better enough to do a little bit of vlogging. And I really enjoyed cooking the other day, even though I wasn't feeling well. And so I'm gonna do that to start off this a new monthly, I don't know if it's gonna be a monthly vlog or a weekly vlog, but what I'm gonna make is my chili. I was sitting down before because I was weak. I'm sitting down now because I just prefer this backdrop over the other one when I'm filming. So we'll figure that out eventually. But in the meantime, I'm going to make my chili, and I might as well show you the ingredients that I'm gonna cook with. Oh, I just finished watering my plants. That's why they're up here. Just FYI. So for my chili recipe, I did do an Instacart order. I probably spent like $20 more, which is the reason why I said each week I spend somewhere between $75 to $100, because that's just the budget that I give myself, and I did spend a little bit more. So for my chili, I'm going to use 3 packs of the McCormick chili seasoning. I'm gonna use 2 of the original seasonings and then 2 of the mild. I've tried to do it where I just season it myself with the chili seasoning and the cumin, but it just never tastes as good as these packs, and I like my chili a little bit spicy, so I like to put the mild in there. Sometimes I do add a jalapeno pepper. I'm not gonna add it this time. I'm also gonna do a red pepper. I'm gonna do a green pepper. I'm gonna do a white onion. To also do, I need to move some of this stuff off this counter in order to get my plant out of the way. This is Alberta, she's doing good. So in addition, I have a little bit of ground beef. I'm going to use the rest of that bacon that I have for my black eyed peas as an additional flavoring, and it's gonna be the thing that I use to salt the beans. I've never added bacon before. That's something that I'm trying just to see if I can get that little additional layer in there, because I loved it on the black eyed peas. So that should be good. Then I thought this was about a cup. I think this is a cup. This is like a cup of pinto beans. It seems like it's a little more. I may have overshot how many beans, but it's about a cup of pinto beans soaked overnight, and then about 2 cups of kidney beans soaked overnight. And then I did get 1 can of petite diced tomatoes. I might use half of this because when I tell you I don't like tomatoes in my chili, I just don't like the flavor of it. But I have that. Then I have a little bit of tomato paste, beef stock, which also has a little bit of salt, so I'm gonna be very, very mindful of my salt team, and then a little bit of cocoa powder and brown sugar to balance out the flavors. Apparently, again, I've never tried the beef stock or the bacon in a chili, but because I kind of have my chili based flavors down that I like, I'm experimenting with more complicated ingredients that I see from chefs and cooks on the internet. And what I really want to go for is like a savory, layered, like super flavor filled chili. And so that's the reason for a thing for me. I really want voiceovers to be a thing for me, but I don't know if I have what it takes to make voiceovers a thing. Anywho though, I'm moving into my favorite part of the whole cooking process, which is prepping, chopping, cutting my produce. I really like my hands to really be all over my food. And so I know like a lot of people are like kitchen gadget people. I have an amazing and supportive friend. She's such a kitchen gadget person. I am not. I enjoy the chopping, cutting, touching, moving around process. And also, so you know, between going from my protein to my produce, I did wash my hands. I just did it off camera. Here I am just chopping up a red pepper, a green pepper, and a white onion, so that I can prepare the seasoning for my ground beef. Chopped the veggies down a little more because I want them to be seasoning, flavoring, not texture. So I don't want it too thick. worth mentioning that I did do an Instacart order, and when I did that, I got some a Caesar salad kit. But also, it's just interesting how the refrigerator can go from not full to feeling a little bit full just because I cooked. So this is the chili that's in here. I will transfer that to a different bowl. What is that? Milk, the celery, some bacon bits. This is the kale. This is my leftover black eyed peas and cornbread. But I just think that maybe that's why I keep the refrigerator a little bit empty, because then when I make leftovers, I don't know, things fill up. Because 4 days ago, this looked completely empty, and now it's full. So I wanted to show you all my pajamas because I'm getting into pajamas. And these pajamas are from Skims, my amazing and supportive friend. She got me a Skims gift card for my birthday last year. And hold on, let me eat the cereal first. 3 things on your things to do list. No matter how you feel, you're just gonna get them done because I understand. Like I just want to get, it's a new year. I want to do New Year's things, but I'm not. You know what? I'm actually just gonna rest. I'm just gonna let myself rest. That's what I'm gonna do. And I was saying, my amazing and supportive friend got me. I don't know if I can get my hand in there now. Amazing and supportive friend got me a Skims gift card, and for my birthday, and I got these pajamas. I'm wanting to get more pajamas. I've always loved pajamas, and I'm wanting to get more pajamas. These would be the most expensive pajamas that I own, but I love them, and I really like them because they fit in my style uniform, which is a crop top and a high-waisted pant. I love that they're wide leg at the bottom, but they're also really, 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 really super duper soft. So I am like super duper in love with these pajamas. But there was a reason why, oh, that's the reason. The reason why I'm telling you that's very high, is because one of the things that I'm grateful for is that instead of me just immediately going out and purchasing anything from Skims, just because I had the gift card, I waited until I got my color analysis back, until I got my KBID back, my Kishner, like all of that stuff. I feel like that's super high. Until I got like all of that stuff back, and I think that I ended up making a better choice, because before, if I would have purchased before I got my color analysis back, everything would be brown, and I would have went brown because I would have wanted to go nude, and I would have gone brown because I wanted to look more golden. But brown is not my color because I'm not an autumn or a spring. I am a winter, and so black is my color, and I look so much more golden, so much more vibrant, so much healthier when I'm in black colors. And I don't know, I just like the idea that there's even a through line all the way into pajamas, and I really like these pajamas. And I feel like they match with my essence because I have ingenue, classic, and romantic, and the stars give it like an ingenue, youthful essence. The classicness of it is because it's just black, right? Like it's a black 2-piece, the wide leg, the crop top, the silhouette is fairly classic. And then I think the romantic element is the ribbed figure hugging nature of it. So I really love it, and I feel like it's the little things like that that make me incredibly happy, because now I know my pajamas are all going to look just as good as my clothes, which means I'm going to be looking good whether I'm going to sleep, whether I'm lounging, whether I'm going out. No matter what I'm doing, I'm going to be looking my very, very best, my very healthiest, my very wealthiest, my very happiest, because I have on my colors. Because like even this morning, like I have nothing on my face, maybe just the face mask, not the face mask, but the night cream from last night. That's the only thing I have on my face. And I really like how my face looks this morning. So a nicer day today. I am picking up my paint to paint my living room, which I'm very excited about it. I still haven't decided whether or not I'm going to drench the library, but depending on how the living room color comes out, it will help me to determine whether or not I want to drench the library, because the living room is going to have more of a drenched look. I learned so much about paints, etc. So not just like this brand, but then the finish and then the color. And I think I used to be really overwhelmed because I didn't understand that all of this was like separate. So it's like color, type of paint, and finish. And so normally I get this paint, but they don't have this particular paint, so they upgraded me to this paint for the same price, which I'm feeling very excited about that. Chili was a fail, and so I'm gonna make some more. And it was a fail because it's bland, but it was also a fail because I failed to remember that when I add ground beef to beans from dried beans, I have to cook the dried beans first and then prepare the chili as if I was making it from canned. And I don't know why that escaped me when I was preparing this, but the ground beef got overcooked. The seasoning, it just was a fail. The cocoa powder though didn't affect it in a negative way, and I do think that I'm gonna use that again. So I'm just gonna make some more. I already started the process of boiling my beans, which I had a little bit of the red beans left over, and then I just soaked some more pinto beans overnight, which is I think one of the reasons I like cooking with beans, because it's so forgiving. It gives you an opportunity to prepare what you want to prepare, but then if you messed up, it's an inexpensive replacement. So this is probably about maybe a cup of red beans, a cup of pinto beans, and then I did 4 cloves of garlic, 1 large onion, and then I'm boiling this in some chicken stock. And I know I'm making chili, and I don't necessarily want my chili to taste like chicken, but it's like half chicken stock. It's like a cup of chicken stock and then a cup of water. And I'm just boiling it in these flavors to cook the beans down. Once I get about halfway with the beans cooked down to like soft, then I'll go ahead and add some additional seasonings. But I think part of the reason why my chili wasn't good before is because I definitely forgot to cook my beans, and I want some chili. So I'm just gonna start over, and I'm grateful that I have the ingredients to be able to do that. Okay, so I'm getting ready to head out because in addition to regular dates and going out, I also want to take myself out. Oh, I don't have on any jewelry. I also want to take, it's literally just one little piece of jewelry, but I feel so naked without it. But I also want to take myself out because I feel like I should sit for this because I feel like I'm about to go in a rant. I feel like now it's super high. Obviously, I planned to do this very swiftly and it just didn't work. Oh, come on now. There we go. Okay. Is that okay? I keep categorizing myself when I get another camera. What's I gonna say? So I came up with First Saturday as a means to help me to enjoy my favorite city more, because when I tell you I adore this city, I adore this city through and through, and there are so many geographical reasons why I enjoy this city. There are so many architectural reasons why I love this city, and there are so many I wouldn't necessarily say cultural no, I wouldn't say cultural, but there's another thing that I can't quite put my finger on for why I love this city. But what I have realized in my time, this time of living in the city and my time previous to living in the city when I was in grad school, is that I didn't actually experience the culture of this city as much as my memory, as much as I thought that I had. And so what I mean by that is, like, when I was in grad school, I was obviously broke because I was in grad school, but I had a job as a waitress and I love waiting tables, and all of my serving friends, we had the activities that we did. But if you can imagine, like, I work downtown, I'm getting off work at like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. There's only so much that we can do. But what I think, like, waiting tables until 1, 2 o'clock in the morning gave me the feeling of being out, but in truth, I wasn't out, I was working. And then we had like a downstairs sort of fine dining, and then we had an upstairs like lounge area. And especially if I worked in the lounge area, it definitely felt like being out. But when I look at my graduate student experience, I probably went out twice in the 3.5, almost 4 years it took me to get my master's degree. And yes, I would go to like friends' house and we would do like, Friendsgivings and different activities like that. But there weren't a lot of activities in the city that I enjoyed. And so that was like 3.5, 4 years. And then the same thing with these last few years. I think I'm at 5 years now that I've been in the city. I've been so focused on healing therapeutically that in many ways, like I had no capacity to be outside. Like, it's just not a thing, like, because I'm petrified and I just had no capacity to be outside. So the elements of the city, it was really because I love it because it's a refuge, not necessarily because I'm experiencing all that this city has to offer. And I think the thing that I've experienced the most that the city has to offer is the food, but that's because I worked in the industry and I want to actually experience the other aspects of the city. Like, I do love the museums here. I do love some of the other cultural things here, like the access to theater, like all of these different things. And I think the first time I was here, I didn't have the money to be able to do it. And this time, so much of my time has been spent healing. And so I want to get back to that, which is the reason why I'm like, I need a solo night, because yeah, it's fun to do things like romantically, but I think when I'm doing things either romantically or I'm doing things with friends, I'm in like a different mode because it's like we're going out. Versus if I just go out by myself, like it's just a completely different experience. So First Saturdays is about experiencing what I like to call my favorite city a lot more. And so I'm about to head out. I'm about to go to some poetry, and initially I was thinking about having a glass of wine, but I actually think I might have a Grey Goose dirty martini because I'm feeling the taste for that instead of wine, but we'll see when I get there. But I hope that I'm gonna have an amazing time. And this is what I'm wearing. And I need to decide on you guys cannot see this outfit at all. I need to decide, it's just black, it's just all black, and then some black boots. I need to decide on layering a jacket with it because I just wanted it to be all black. I'm coming from being under the weather. I have no time for razzle dazzle. I also have no time for going outside and not being covered from head to toe because I don't want to get sick again. But over on my TikTok, I talk about the different jackets that I'm choosing from. I definitely know that I'm wearing this purse, which is super cute. It's from Anthropologie. It's one of the most amazing purses in all the land. And when you get it, it also comes with this cute little pooch. And I'm pretty sure it's faux leather, but it's the softest faux leather you could possibly ever imagine. So, all right. Very gloomy outside, which makes for great filming because you get like this overcast light. But sometimes I just want the sun to be shining. But I'm downtown. I'm about ready to go to the library, which I say that like I'm not downtown every week. Might not be here anymore. Oh, yep, it's still down here. I was editing and I realized I hadn't finished the vlog. After I got back from the library, I went shopping. I did a little bit of shopping, which will probably be in next week's vlog. And then I did end up getting 3 books from the library. You can see them here. I have decided that for fiction books, I won't share the fiction books that I get because I don't want to review books that I give less than 3 stars. And I don't want to do that because my 1-star and my 2-star ratings are not good reviews, and I don't want to talk about books that I don't like because I actually just don't like talking about things that I don't like. That said, I won't share fiction books covers that I check out until I read them and I have an idea of them. I understand other people might enjoy them, but it just always makes me feel weird when I'm like, oh, I got this book and then I never talk about it again. Sometimes that's because I didn't finish it. Sometimes it's just because I couldn't figure out how to talk about books, but I realized giving myself the parameter of, well, we're just not going to talk about books that we didn't like, helped me to understand that means we will not tell people what we're reading ahead of time, so that way that takes the anxiety down and I can just enjoy the reading without knowing that people are anticipating a review. And it gives me more, like, I don't know. I think before me trying to share books online, I just was a private reader, but now I'm just a little bit self-conscious about it, and I don't want to be self-conscious about it because I've been reading some really good books. So I have 2 fiction books, and then nonfiction. I don't care as much about sharing my nonfiction books, and that is because I feel like nonfiction, reviewing a nonfiction, you can review it more critically without, like, the same sort of, like, weight that you would potentially, at least in my mind, like, the same weight. So, like, when I think about a fiction book, it's like, that's, now that actually that I'm saying this out loud, maybe I won't be sharing my nonfiction books. I don't know. Nonfiction books just sit somewhere else, because I feel like I can say, oh, I didn't like this nonfiction book because I don't need what's in that nonfiction book. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad book. I can objectively say, regardless of whether or not I need the information in the book, this was well written. Whereas with fiction, it's a blend of creativity and style and other elements that I think lean more on the side of personal choice. I probably should have turned that fan off before I started recording. Sound is probably gonna be bad. But anywho, though, I think it leans more on the side of, like, personal preference, and what you tend to like fictionally tends to mirror personal experiences. I want to say this. Let me go turn that fan on. Oh, well, actually, I can do about having turned that fan on is that it's so much quieter here. And I feel like I want to just re-record everything that I just said, but I told myself, so that I can get back into the consistency of vlogging, that we're not going to do all of that. But all that to say, so with a nonfiction book, I feel like objectivity is easier. So being critical is easier. And versus with fiction, it's very subjective. And just because I didn't like something doesn't mean that it's not good. But if I didn't like something, I will give it a 1 or a 2. And I just feel like when it comes to nonfiction, the rating system is, for me, it feels just more objective, because a lot of time I'm specifically rating their execution of expressing a very specific concept that is designed to shift, change, improve my life. That said, I have no problem sharing the nonfiction books that I'm reading. Or maybe it's just because I just started reading fiction books and I just wanted to still just stay a little slice of heaven. And I don't want to, and not that anybody has ever argued with me. These are all thoughts that I'm just having in my head by myself. But I don't want to say, oh, I read this book and it was a 2, and then end up in a conversation with someone about my opinion about a piece of fiction. Because for me, fiction is all pleasure. And I'm just like, I don't want to I just don't want the dialogue. Whereas with nonfiction, I appreciate the dialogue, because sometimes you will help me to understand something better that I'm learning. It's like that. The critical discourse feels good on nonfiction. Critical discourse does not feel good on fiction, which is the reason why I won't share my covers or what I'm reading before I read them, so that in the event that I read a book that is less than 3 stars, I don't feel compelled to continue talking about it. Again, none of you all have done this to me. This is what's happening in my mind up here. Okay. It's all me. It's all happening in my mind. That said, the nonfiction book that I'm reading is Laziness Does Not Exist. I am coming upon my year of rest, and I feel pretty good about it, right? Because for 7 years, nearly 7 years, I have been practicing my 7 by 7 by 7. Every 7 days, taking a day off. Every 7 weeks, taking a week off. Every 7 months, taking a month off. But to take a full year off, I'm trying to define what that looks like. How will it differ from my very comfortable work schedule that I have now? I'm really just trying to define what that looks like. And I want to read more about concepts around rest, laziness, work, leisure, just different things like that.
so that I can better prepare for that year. And just really fully lean into it and enjoy it. And I heard that this book is really, really good. I feel like it's just going to have some really good concepts around productivity. Not because I have any challenges with it. I'm quite pleased with where I am productivity wise. I don't feel like I overwork or underwork, but I still want to know more about the topic. And this also helps me when I'm on stage and sharing, and it also helps me when I'm working with my coaching clients. So this is the nonfiction book that I'm reading, and I am actually currently with the 2 books that I checked out from the library. I have 1 book on Kindle, and then I have another physical book that I purchased. So I'm currently reading 4 books right now, and I've already finished my first 3 fiction books of the new year, which I put a review of those books on TikTok. Yeah, I think that's it. I think I'm going to close the vlog here and see how we do this week. I'll talk to you soon.